This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
What's going on with Dak? I mean, there's no doubt if the Dallas Cowboys want to keep him the Dallas Cowboys quarterback and not mess with Texas in any way, shape, or form, they got to do it before week 1, right? Or
essentially.
Well,
hypothetically, you could do it later, but the best opportunity you have to get the deal done is before week 1.
So there's no collective bargaining agreement language that would prevent them from extending Dak during the season.
Nope.
No. Unlike the franchise tagging once, if you pass a deadline, you can't touch it until the next
This
year.
is more of a Dak deadline.
Okay.
In terms of he doesn't want to be thinking about the contract during the season. Either you ramp it up, you get it done now. Not to say it couldn't happen.
Right.
It would just be unorthodox, out of the ordinary for them to do it that way.
So I wanted to get those parameters before we dig in here.
Mm-hmm.
What's he asking for? 60 plus?
I think it's less about what he's asking for as much as it is this needs to be the perfect deal. I think that everybody realistically thinks 60 is the aiming point here. It's going to be about the way that the deal is structured.
What, cash? Cash? You're talking about like cash that he gets? Like how much of it is in cash?
It's going to be about
similar,
the
like
guarantees.
Mahomes doesn't have a top APY.
Sure.
But he's making the most cash.
Right. It's also about the guarantees and how they structure those guarantees in the future. Because the Cowboys long have done longer deals, and then they've had really strong cash flow at the front, but they buy up all those future years. They've also had, some of the mechanics and contracts have been, the third, if it's a 4-year extension, the third and fourth year aren't fully guaranteed at signing. So it's all these different things. And when you're Dak and his agent Todd France, you can sit back and go, we're going to win either way here. In other words, you give us everything now. You give us the exact contract that we want to sign, or we'll just wait until March, and then whether it's from you or somebody else, we'll get that, if not better. So for the Cowboys, they are having those conversations. There are negotiations going on. Do they get all the way to that point? It remains to be seen. I remember I mentioned back when I was hosting the show a month or so ago, like there is a pathway for this to get done.
How is it?
It would not shock me if this deal gets done prior to the start of the regular season, in part because as much as their organizational philosophy in Dallas has been to kick the can down the road on these things, and it took forever to get the Ceedee Lamb deal done, they still don't have a new deal done with their head coach, Mike McCarthy. They still don't have a deal done with Dak. You're starting to see the wheels turning a little bit more here. They got Ceedee in once they got back to Dallas. With Dak, if he leaves somewhere else in free agency here, what do you do at that position? Trey Lance is a very interesting developmental prospect, but he's in a contract here. They don't have a quarterback under contract for 2025. So what exactly is your pivot? Is it you're going to trade the farm to go get your friend Deion Sanders' son and draft him in the first round next year? Is it you're going to hope that somebody else becomes available by a trade? In other words, the unknown, as much as everybody, yes, has Dak won big in the playoffs? Has he won a Super Bowl? No. But he was one of the best quarterbacks in football last year, had his best season statistically and just from the eye test in his first year with Mike McCarthy calling the plays. These two guys, and they're both free agents. I mean, you could have a situation where they both leave and go somewhere together next year if you don't get these contracts done. There's a lot of reasons for the Cowboys to want to get this deal done. There are signs that they are motivated finally to get this deal done. But that's different than saying Dak is actually going to get the type of contract that's going to make him give up something that is so rare, which is the opportunity to hit unfettered free agency.
So, correct me if I'm wrong here on these facts. Dak cannot be traded without his consent.
Yes.
No trade clause, right?
Dak cannot be traded without his consent, which is the case with any top quarterback, too, because you're not going to trade what it would cost without getting a new deal in place.
But he's got a no trade clause. He's got a no franchise tagging clause. Correct.
Right. Most, though, franchise quarterback, most top players, in essence, have a no-trade clause. No-trade clauses are fun to talk about because there aren't that many of them within the league. Right. But anybody who's going to require... I mean, Brandon Ayuk effectively showed he had a no-trade clause, even though he didn't. Because you just go, I'm not going to sign anywhere else.
I'm just saying, I'm trying to go down one by one the leverage that Dak has here.
No trade clause.
No trade clause.
Right.
And he's got a no franchise clause.
Yeah. He doesn't have a no franchise clause. It would be a third tag, which is 144% of this year's cap number, which is like $80 million. So again, effectively, no tag.
And
No,
if he leaves by free agency, it leaves a $40 million dead cap charge on the Cowboys.
It accelerates because they've turned it in future years. It accelerates it into next year.
Okay.
Correct.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku.
There you have it, good people. Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Jobu. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. We got Lola in the house. What's up, Lola? I'm definitely burning for Lola here. What's going on? We got Stacy Schubert, Roland's Review. What's up, Roland? How are you doing? I see Alan Williams in the house. Help me, Rhonda. What's up, Rhonda? Rhonda killing it on the late night throwback movies and everything else. And there is the Gina, Dallas Diva. What's up, Gina? How are you doing? Michael, do I have a favorite college team? It would be JMU Dukes because that's where I went to school, man. I don't really have it. Here's my problem, bro. Here's my problem. When I do something, I try and do it 100% fully, okay? I try and give it all of my attention. And the thing that you have to realize in life is if you really want to do something and do it well, you have to give it full attention. And when you do, that means something else ends up being lacking. And so the Dallas Cowboys, maybe if I were like, say, a Commanders YouTuber or, like a Lions YouTuber, there wouldn't be as much content that we'd have to do. But because it's the Dallas Cowboys, because they are paramount every day in the news, I can't do college football and still be married. We have an agreement. My wife was like, look, you know how much time Jerry Wayne Jones and all the bullshit that is the Dallas Cowboys and how much videos you do. You can't do college football too. No, she's like, I got to have some of you, okay? She's like, you belong to the world out there and stuff, but you also belong to me. So I don't have time to do the whole college football. Jeff Lee in the house. Shout out to Tony Lopez becoming a new channel member. Shout out to Tony, as well as Chris May with the $2 holler. Appreciate you guys. So let's get into this shit. We can't have nice things here with the Dallas Cowboys. We literally, just at the beginning of the week, we got a good feeling because, oh my God, we got Ceedee Lamb done. We got Jerry Jones literally talking shit or talking about shit because he's like, hey, you know what? I've been a great, Ginger Rogers. What's up, Ginger? Shout out to Ginger Rogers, who is going to be starting her own channel about the Seahawks. See, Ginger, I'm sorry, Ginger. It might be hard for you to be a content creator for the Seattle Seahawks because it's not like the Cowboys. You don't have a crazy owner. You don't have quarterback controversies and things like that, on whether or not to keep a guy who was runner-up MVP. You don't have, should you go out and get the college coach, and Deion Sanders, former player, and his son and stuff. You don't have your head coach having to play out the last year of his deal. You don't have, Jerry Jones and paternity suits. We get all that and more. We literally have a linebacker who's considered selfish because he does a podcast. So let's get into this thing. You know what? I remember I've been doing this YouTube Monday nights and Friday nights for 8 years. It's kind of crazy. It is literally kind of crazy when you think about how many weeks that is in a year and how many years that is. There's a lot of different shows. And, oh, shit. Literally, just seeing his name just gave me a headache. Just seeing Drew show up. Drew is literally...
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, real hating, man, that's like an art form, man. It's like you like a born a hater, like myself, man. A lot of cats think they hate, but, man, I'm mad, I'm mad at everything, man. Brother got a nice car, man. Why you got a car, man? I only got one car. Why you got 3 cars or a wife or all that, man? That's played out, man. I hate on it till he's totally broke and ain't got nothing like me, you know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, that's what real hating is all about, man.
That's Drew. That's Drew. Real hating. All jokes aside, so appreciate you being here. been doing this for a long time, for 8 years. I have been doing this as long as Dak Prescott has been the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. And what's crazy is how every year there's always a brand new flavor in your ear when it comes to Dak Prescott. Or it's always somebody else that they say, well, he's better than, he's generational. Dak is what, you need to trade Dak. Y'all remember this was a while ago. Sugar Daddy, what's up? My first membership right here. Shout out 35 months ago. Shout out to Sugar Daddy. Y'all remember when it used to be Carson Wentz was a Maserati and Dak Prescott was just a Corvette? Okay, and I think that was for they redesigned the new Corvettes. The new Corvettes, man, that's just fly. But be that as it may, that's what you used to get from Colin Cowherd, that, Dak Prescott sucked. Carson Wentz, Dan Orlowski literally said he has the Hall of Fame pedigree. And I'm kind of like, do you understand what pedigree means? Pedigree. It's like, that's like your lineage. That's like your family, okay? You could look and say Archie Manning's kids have a Hall of Fame pedigree because they have Hall of Famers in the family. Carson Wentz ain't got, what are you talking about? He went to North Dakota State. North Dakota, listen, come on, man. Be for real, bro. But that was, Dak Prescott sucked. I literally remember after Dak Prescott's rookie year, guys coming in and saying that he'll be flipping burgers in 2 years. He'll be flipping burgers, and that it was only Zeke Elliott. It's Dak Prescott done. It's Zeke Elliott is doing everything. It's like, okay, here we go. But in that time, we've seen Carson Wentz crash and burn and go hunting and stuff and all that. And now he's back up in Kansas City and never see the field and stuff. Then it was Deshaun Watson. You remember Deshaun Watson, right? Oh my God, Deshaun Watson, who literally had an incredible numbers season on a 4-12 team, and they said, he was great. But see, Dak Prescott, of course, it's just tomato cancer, but garbage time, right? Yeah, y'all remember that, right? That he was getting all his numbers in garbage time. But they praised Matthew Stafford, who literally played for the Detroit Lions, where they were always behind, which meant that he was always in garbage time. But nobody even looks at it. They're like, he's a Hall of Famer. He was one of the fastest people to 50,000 points. Yeah, when you're on a team that's 0-16, you're always freaking behind. You're always passing, trying to catch up. Let's be for real here. Let's be for real. Remember when Kyler Murray, oh man, I'd trade for Kyler Murray. Oh, trade for Baker Mayfield. I literally remember people saying, trade for Sam Darnold. I'll take Sam Darnold over Dak Prescott. And then you remember Jerry Wayne Jones, who literally signed Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton. Y'all remember that? Andy freaking Dalton. And we heard the talking heads out there, Colin Cowherd, there's no drop-off between Dak Prescott and Andy Dalton. Look at this. They're the same guy. We saw how much the teammates didn't like Andy Dalton when he literally got the F knocked out of him and laid on the field, and they just kind of walked right past him. You want to see a dead body? So that one didn't work. That one didn't work. And so then you've heard things about how much Justin Herbert. Oh my God, Justin Herbert, he's a generational guy. He's so much better than Dak Prescott. It's funny that everybody is trashing Dak Prescott about his playoff record. This mother humper got paid last year in last year's dollars, which is actually higher than this year's because it's a higher percentage. Got paid last year and has regressed the last 2 seasons. Regressed. Ain't nobody said that they can't build a team because they paid him too much money when he was literally one of the highest paid there for a minute. Justin Herbert. Don't hear anybody saying that guy failed. Sitting here listening about Trevor Lawrence, who's he's 1-1 in the playoffs. But I don't know that you really look at it and say, Trevor Lawrence is, oh my God, he's got a playoff win. It's true, he threw 5 touchdown passes with 5 interceptions, 4 of which were in the first quarter. They were down 27-0. But the difference was their defense locked them down, gave up only 3 more points the other 3 quarters, and they came back and won. So he's a great quarterback. And then there's Jalen Hurts. Yes, Drew, I'm talking about your boy. I'm talking about your boy, whose 2 wins, the 2 wins that he has in the playoffs, literally, the other team only scored 7 points. So was that great play by the quarterback? Was it great play by the quarterback? Oh, but then there's Lamar Jackson, too. Lamar Jackson, he's only got 1 less loss in the playoffs than Dak Prescott, and he's been a 2-time MVP. So there we go. And the thing that's really sad to me these days as we get ready to go through here is how ESPN has turned into conspiracy theorists or just a bunch of freaking idiots. Why are we supposed to think that Dan Orlovsky is some great brain trust quarterback guru, a guy who literally has not done jack, whose claim to fame is running out of the back of the end zone? Why does that guy even have a chance to try and trash Dak Prescott? That guy. Why?
This is for Dak Prescott. Leave me alone. This is for Cowboys fans. I wear your colors. Leave me alone. In my mentions, this is for guys like Graziano, but most importantly, this is for my arch nemesis, Dominique Foxworth. Egg on my face on television.
He's got egg on his face. Dominique, how about
You earned it, Dom.
I'm sorry, Magical Elixir. I got to talk about this because there's a whole misconception that people have that they think that, we can get Shedeur Sanders. Oh, my God, I heard the Cowboys are interested in Shedeur Sanders. Let's go get that guy. But we have to understand what it would actually take. And see, here's the thing. Here's the thing here. I wonder what the betting odds, if BetUS has betting odds on whether or not Dak Prescott is with the Dallas Cowboys next year. So, yeah, I need to check and see if they actually have that, because that might be a good bet line. Because in the end, here's the funny thing about all this stuff, okay? In fact, I'm going to check and see on BetUS, and if you want to do BetUS, I actually have the link in the description. BetUS, you can get 125% matching and so forth, and some of the fastest payouts that you will ever see. But I think I need to take that line because it's funny how Jerry Jones always does the whole Zeku. We're not in a hurry to pay Ceedee Lamb, and then they get it done. We hear we're not going to reset the market. They always lowball a number. You notice, we went from 32, somewhere in the 32 range, and end up with 34. You notice that? So what I want you to understand here is I know I don't have the credibility because I am a YouTuber, okay? I'm not in my mama's basement, okay? I'm in the upstairs of a 200-year-old home, okay? I'm not in Dallas. I'm not, there at the press conferences with the Dallas Cowboys and things like that. I don't have a great big studio and a lighting director and a sound man and computers and editors and stuff and makeup. Lord knows we know there's no makeup artist, okay? You can definitely tell there's no makeup artist. So I get it. I'm not credible like these people. They're insiders. But this is some of the biggest bullshit. This one pissed off even
How are they going to do
Jordan
it, Mike T?
Lewis.
You told us in the meeting this morning. You're saying to yourself, wait a minute, the Cowboys aren't going to be that bad, right? Like the Cowboys would. Shedeur Sanders is going to be the first pick, the third pick, the sixth pick. How do they go up there and get that deal?
Let's say Dallas is 15, 18, somewhere in the draft order.
15,
Greeny
18.
trade multiple first-round picks and maybe Ceedee Lamb. And
Ceedee Lamb.
They tried to get Ceedee Lamb out of town.
And Bart brought up, well, I'm going to give you some credit. Like, let's say it's New England that has the second pick in the draft, and they have everything.
Right.
They have a quarterback and nothing else. So if you're starting over, yes, Ceedee Lamb is expendable. I mean, there's a better chance.
Ceedee Lamb is expendable. He's
Yes,
second
there's a
best.
better chance, in my opinion, that Shedeur Sanders could be the quarterback there next year than Dak Prescott at this point. Because if
I don't agree with
If
that.
Dak wanted to be there, their deal would have been done. And the way it's going right now is Dallas is going to need a quarterback in the first round next year, and it would be a type of move where Jerry Jones could go up and say, hey, I got a younger, better, cheaper quarterback in Shedeur than I did with Dak.
Well, how are they going to do it, Mike T? You told us in the meeting this morning.
What's up, Linda? How are you doing? That sounds good in theory, but a couple of things here. If you literally listen to and put all this together, okay? Let's put this together. First of all, he said, let's say the Cowboys are 15 or 18, okay? So that's basically saying that the Cowboys are, say, 7 and 8. I mean, 7 and 9. 8 and 7 and 9. No. 7 and 10. 7 and 10. 8 and 9. That they missed the playoffs, right? Which the problem with that theory is every time Dak Prescott's been healthy, they've pretty much been an above 500 team. And above 500 pretty much gets you in the playoffs. If you're in the playoffs, you're going to be somewhere in the 20s. The time is coming for Cowboys Nation. Dustin, you are completely right. And there's Lady Libra in the house. What's up? Did I get Joanne Gonzalez as well? What's up, JoJo? How are you doing tonight, Joy? So San Francisco moving up to get Trey Lance from 12 was 3 number ones and a third. Twizdigga, pay Dak, get it done, Jera. He needs to. But I'm on the other, I'm sitting here, if I'm Dak Prescott, to be the only player to ever have this kind of leverage, even if I ultimately decide I'm going to do a team-friendly deal or I'm going to get part of the team, that 10% equity, maybe Dak Prescott should just say, hey, you know what? I'll take future earnings. I'll take that 10% stake of the Dallas Cowboys. And you can just pay me $1 million a year. Maybe something like that. That's where it goes. But in some regards, I feel like that this isn't all the Cowboys not ponying up. I think that a lot of this is Dak Prescott making them sweat, making them uncomfortable, making them work. North of the border. What's up, north of the border? You're not winning a ring if you pay him. Okay, Dwayne. Hey, well, Dwayne, I can tell you right now, if you don't pay him, you damn sure aren't going to win one anytime soon. If your idea is we're going to go ahead, because here's the problem. This is what I was going to say to you. Just listen to what the man said. You trade CD and you take a couple of number ones with that and you get Shedeur Sanders. You take a couple number ones. So you're going to get rid of your best offensive weapon, right? Because from that standpoint, you got Zeke and Cooks, Dalvin Cook as your running backs. They're old. You got Jalen Tolbert. Maybe he's a number one. I don't know. And you got Ferg. And you got a decent offensive line. You got to now get a wide receiver. Where are you getting the wide receivers, bro? Where are you getting the wide receivers? You're starting over. You need running backs. So you're going to deconstruct a team that's there. See, here's the thing that's so stupid to me. I'm sorry. You are a 12-5 win team. You're good, just not great. So your idea is to take the bird in the hand and say, let's go ahead and take 3 number ones because we're trading away our best weapon, one that you just paid, which means you're going to take a big hit. If that was the plan, you would not have. If the plan, here, let me put it this way. This is how stupid. I don't even understand how ESPN's people can't even look at this and say how stupid what you just said is. If your plan was to trade Ceedee Lamb, then what you would have done is not gotten him a contract. Now you're going to have to eat. You don't sign a contract 1 year and trade the guy the next year. He was allegedly an executive for the Jets and the Miami Dolphins. How stupid would that be to take the dead money hits to trade a guy the next year? It's stupid. Second part, think about this. What would this team be without, say, Micah Parsons or Ceedee Lamb or Tyler Smith? You understand? Or right now, Tyler Guyton and Cooper Beebe. Because when you start talking about, just trade a number one, look at what the Cowboys get. If there's one thing the Cowboys do better than anybody else is first-round picks. And you're saying, let's go ahead and make the team worse, take the one thing that builds them better, and we're going to take that all and we're going to get a quarterback. Sorry. All right, so we'll move on from that. I just don't see this happening the way everybody. This has been going on for 8 years. They have constantly tried to get rid of Dak and start over. Oh, you got to get rid of Dak, got to get rid of Dak, got to get rid of Dak. And we have seen so many players out there that have been thought to be the guy. How would you like to have Deshaun Watson right now? Because that's what some of y'all wanted. We should get rid of Dak and get Deshaun Watson. You do realize they just restructured his deal to get $35 million of cap relief. His cap number for next year is $72 million fully guaranteed. And it's $72 million the following year fully guaranteed for Deshaun Watson. Bam. How about Russell Wilson? Because a lot of you guys said, get rid of Dak. Let's get Russell Wilson. How would you like to have had that move right now? It's easy to say, you know what? There's something better out there. There's been a lot of men out there that have had a great partner in life and decided, you know what? I'm going to go chase some skirts over here because I'm going to find me something better. And then they find out too late that they screwed the pooch when they had the dream right there that they took for granted. And I'm hoping that Dak Prescott makes the Cowboys sweat. When you hear the shit that Jerry Jones puts out there, there is nobody. Listen, if Dak Prescott plays on the last year of this deal, this is 3 years out of 6 that Dak Prescott has literally taken all the risk. Nobody has ever done that before. Nobody. And I tell you, the team be damned. I hope if he does have to do that, I hope he takes the team for every cent they got. Literally. Because they deserve it. Because their mess is of their own making. And I don't have any pity for fools. And that's what the Cowboys literally are here. You're being foolish. You're being stupid. You could get him done just like you did CD. You can get it done. You keep bullshitting and telling us it can't be done. It can't be done. Listen, how is it San Francisco's got Brandon Ayuk done now? He's $30 million. Debo's out there about that, right? They got Christian McCaffrey redone, and they'll get Trent Williams redone. They're getting all these guys done, and here it is. We only get one. It's kind of crazy. All right, so we are a week and 2 days away from taking on the Cleveland Browns. And, we are 2.5 points underdogs for that game, okay? The thing I always say, Twiz, we need Dak in Dallas so we can see he's go 4-7. Are you smoking crack there, Drew?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
See him go 4-7. Bro, you might want to worry about your Eagles, man. You may want to worry about your Eagles. I'm just saying, because y'all sitting here acting like y'all already have your tickets punched. Like you've got a time machine. You can gone, all the way up to the end of the year, and you've already seen the Cowboys are going to, or have you been listening to Dan Saleo? Because he's got us as a 5-win team. But yeah, y'all crazy. I just see. I saw one of the lovely ladies that popped in here, and I can't see it. Jerry gonna have to give Dak $70 million a year to keep him after next season. He might, or you literally will face being like the Washington Commanders every year trying to find a new quarterback. Lady Libra, that's it. Lady Libra in the house. Welcome. All right, so here's my thing. Let's talk about our Cowboys, other than Dak Prescott, because people are getting tired of Dak Prescott. The Eagles fans, Twiz Digga and Philadelphia and Drew, mark his playoff record would be 4-7 and still wouldn't get past the second round. Okay, Drew. I'm gonna let me address that a little bit here, because as you sit there and pound your chest about your 2-3 playoff record with your guy, okay, who's got everything, I still will look and say, as everybody says, he never shows up in playoffs. I don't know that you look at his first playoff game against the Green Bay Packers, where he had 3 TD passes, 1 interception, and 304 yards, and goes toe for toe with Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers literally has a miracle play that their offensive lineman literally was holding down the sideline to win that game. I don't know that you look and say that was Dak Prescott choking. I do remember the Cowboys beating the Seattle Seahawks in the playoffs. I do remember seeing him throw 5 TD passes against Tampa Bay and retiring Tom Brady. I'm just saying that you can't look and say, every playoff game Dak Prescott's played, he has just been ass. But I will say that if your thing was everybody else played great but Dak Prescott, and my whole premise here too is, when you look at the Cowboys, is it Dak Prescott or is it the Dallas Cowboys? Because when I look back here for 30 years, that the Cowboys have had problems in the playoffs or even making the playoffs with Jerry Wayne Jones as the GM. Derek Gimsley, Mark, I'm ready for November 10th so we can shut these mother humpers up. Eagles fans, they act like they've already won the Super Bowl. Jeez, Mark. Shout out to Derek. Yes, actually, Derek, we have 2 things on that trip, okay? I'm going. I don't think Dan Saleo is going to show. I know Philly 500's not going to show, but we're going to be there. We were looking into, because Leo was talking about, we should get a suite. I'm like, I ain't a high roller like that. He's like, nah, man, you can get a suite for about $600 a person. I'm like, okay, all right. An 18-person suite at AT&T for the Eagles game, $40,000. $40,000. But you do get 5 parking passes, and you can have an additional 6 people in there. I'm like, bro, that's $1,600 a person. That's have fun, y'all. But even the 400 level, Game Time Brian is looking at tickets. 400 level around the 50-yard line is about $400. Now that's a little more affordable for me. I know that's up in the mountain goat seats and everything else, but I'll be okay with that. Although I usually wait till closer to the game before buying tickets, because then people start getting a little desperate to sell the tickets, although it's Cowboys Eagles, so maybe it won't be. But either way, it's still going to cost a good chunk of change for that game. But we will be there, and I pray that we beat the living hell out of the Eagles. No way to justify $40K. I'm serious. I'm like, $40K? $40K? I can start building a house for $40K. Rich, are you sure it's zero watching from your couch? I mean, the NFL has got a way of reaching out and grabbing your money there, bro. You know, just saying. The NFL is taking all your money. Philly D, so Dak can't take over a game. He's taking over games too, bro. Hey, part of the problem, let's be clear here. Generally speaking, if you give up 30 points or more in a playoff game, your chances of winning are about 5%. They just are. In the playoffs, running the football is also important. And when you look at the games in San Francisco, you got Zeke who would get injured during the year, and he'd get about 25, 27, 22 yards a game. Tony Pollard this last game against Green Bay had 53. And I want to say that's the high water mark for running in the playoffs of the Cowboys out of the last 4 games. Sorry. If you can't run the football, it's a cause and effect. I know people don't want to hear it, but if you can't run the ball, defenses are pinning their ears back and they're going after the quarterback, and you're double covering guys. You're going to end up with less time to throw, throwing in tighter windows. And what happens when you got less time to throw and tighter windows? You are going to make mistakes. You just are. And I can't look at it and say, I got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and I got Dallas Goedert and all these guys, that I got a great running back that's back there that's also picking up yards, that I've got multiple weapons. We had one great receiver who literally was 1,000 yards more than anybody else, and he checked out in the early part of the game. Sorry. It's a team sport, bro. And for you Eagle fans in here, Dak sucks, Dak sucks. Remember, guys, you were supposed to be back in the Super Bowl. You mother humpers lost 6 of your last 7 games, including to Baker Mayfield in the playoffs. So those who live in glass houses, shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. We cooked versus the Eagles this year. Yeah. Sugar Daddy, I'll say it again, balance. Thank you, Sugar Daddy. See, these fools in here keep listening to ESPN and think that shit they actually know something. But I'm going to say, and call me crazy. Call me crazy. I actually think the only area I look at and say that maybe we went backwards on, okay, 2 places that have me concerned. Having 2 29-year-old running backs. But Tony Pollard was not a run between the tackles guys. That was a miscalculation by the Cowboys, that the running back situation did not help us, especially in the playoffs. You could literally see Tony Pollard, when it was time to run the ball, when his number was called the middle, you could see him hesitate. He did not want to put his nose in there. You could tell he hesitated instead of hitting the hole. And that belonged. Willie Vassar, add Mark Holmes, what changed with Carson Wentz? Carson Wentz, he got injured. Somebody else took the job, won the Super Bowl, and his ego was shattered. It wasn't a matter of Carson Wentz losing the ability. I think he became a head case. That was just me. He was soft mentally. That's my own personal take. Maybe I'm wrong. He was just soft. That, and he threw passes that were really, really high. Because I remember looking at him at training camp when he was with the Commanders and like, man, he's sailing that shit left and right. But be that as it may, not my problem. Appreciate the question. Yeah, Drew, you're right. He has gone against some sad teams and stunk up the place like the Eagles. He sure seems to have their number. 9-4, bro. 9-4. Yes, I said it. 9-4.
By the way, King Dick back here, and so before we start this video, I gotta get this mother humping thing out of the way. Mark Holmes is my daddy. Okay, that's out of the way. Ow!
Okay, well, Satan, that's your opinion that Tony Pollard sucked. But, see, I'm not going to say Tony Pollard sucked if you used him the right way. If you remember the year before when Zeke was hurt and they had Tony Pollard play, he ended up having like 27 touches. And he was like he was sucking oxygen. He was I'm really tired. And if you remember when we started out the season, I want to say the first 2 or 3 games, he had more touches than anybody else. The first 3 games. Because this is what the Joneses like to do. When they pay you, they literally want to say, we're going to get our money's worth out of you. They did that with DeMarco Murray on the last year of his deal. They said, we're going to run that pony in the ground, in which case he's got the Cowboys all-time season record because they ran him in the ground and then let the Eagles get him, and they realized he was spent. Hey, Drew. I want you to understand something, bro. Drew, come here. Come here a little closer. Drew. You can say whatever you want about my guy, and that's fine, because that is your opinion of my guy, and that's great that you have your opinion. I'm not going to belittle you for having your opinion. You're free to have your opinion. I happen to have an opinion that's different than yours. And I don't give a rat's ass about your opinion. So there you go. A poor man's Donovan McNabb. Okay. Would you like a cookie? Yeah, Tony Pollard was a butter knife. But see, that's the thing. Tony Pollard was a 10, 15 carry a game guy outside of the tackles. His body, how many times he had the plantar fasciitis or the hurt ankle and stuff. When you run between the tackles, it's a different mentality. And they went from having him about 5.6 yards a carry to 4 yards a carry because they had him running in the middle. It was not his game, and he was overworked. So by the time we got to the playoffs, that guy was spent. And see, that was the case of, when you think about Marion Barber was great, but he was not a full-time starter at running back. You end up having Julius Jones, who was kind of the lightning back. And that's what you kind of have to have. You have to have a change-up, and you can't literally have one running back to do it all. Because here's the problem. If you ever notice that you've seen guys like Derrick Henry, you've seen guys like Adrian Peterson, you've seen like great running backs that are rushing, 1,900 yards, 2,000 yards in a season, but then they don't have any playoff success. And there's a reason for that, because when you run the ball that many times during a season, by the time the end of the season gets there, your body is worn down. You're nicked up. Your ankles are shot. Your knees are bent. You're just constantly in pain. You aren't as effective. And see, this is why you see teams that are using multiple running backs that may not be the high-profile running back. One, they're cheaper so we can get other players. But two, they're not running to the ground. Now, I don't know how much Derrick Henry has left. Dalvin Cook has left. And how much Zeke Elliott has left. But here's what I'm going to say about both of those guys. Both of those guys are actually in the same situation, okay? Having been a staple for both of their teams, where they figured, I'm going to be a Minnesota Viking for the rest of my career. Zeke Elliott, I'm going to be a Cowboy for the rest of my career. And then they both get let go and go to bad teams. Zeke, you can say, definitely did better than Dalvin Cook, but Dalvin Cook allegedly had a shoulder injury and never really got into the groove. When you go into a situation where you've been a team that has been a winning organization, that you're competing for playoffs and things, and off the bat, you know that this is just going to be a long season. We got no hope. We ain't going to make the playoffs. We ain't going to do anything. Your tendency is I'm going to protect myself, because me giving 100% and trying to fight for that extra half a yard or yard, it ain't going to help this team go anywhere. That's, at least I'm thinking, that the mentality. I'm sure they were competitors, but you still can't help to be, is this season over yet? God, I hate New England. It's cold. You know, Dalvin Cook, damn, in Minnesota it's cold, but we play indoors, man. They playing outside in the Jets and shit. It's cold. So you've gone through, you've been the great player and stuff. You've had now a slice of humble pie. You've gone to bad situations. And you get a chance on a team that should be a playoff team. That should motivate you, especially Zeke, because Zeke, you're looking and saying, damn, I'm on the tail end of this shit. And so I think what you're going to get is two guys that are going to be motivated to go. And the cool thing that I have heard from like Lavelle Joseph and listening to Dalvin Cook, who's got the number 20, is hearing them say basically it's beyond just me. You know, Lavelle Joseph understands, look, I ain't been to training camp in the last 3 years and things. I know if I do my job and the other guys, it gets glory for everybody else, then it helps the team win. And Dalvin Cook is like, yeah, you got Dak Prescott and Ceedee Lamb and everything else. Our job is to get the running game going so we can help them, you know, do something more. And so when you realize that time is short and you have a sense of urgency, then you should work harder. Now, I am, like I said, concerned about the running game, because we do. You take Dalvin Cook and you take Zeke Elliott, that is 58 years old, which is my age. Citing tropes. Tight end Spanforn is going to be a weapon for Dak in the running game. He can block, he can pass, and he can pass protect while still being able to stretch the middle of the field. And citing tropes, I was going to get to that too, because, see, you're speaking my language, because with him and Jake Ferguson, Mike McCarthy is going to love what he has right now. He's got an emerging tight end in Jake Ferguson. And with Spanford, and even Schoonmaker has shown a little bit in training camp, he's at least stayed healthy. He's going to use a lot of 12 personnel. And 12 personnel, to me, if you've got pass-catching tight ends, is going to be deadly. And if they don't put 8 men in the box, it's going to really help out. It's really going to help out Zeke and Dalvin Cook actually go and really be able to make some hay. And for all you out there that are saying that Dak sucks, remember, the Cowboys' running game was only 14th. We didn't have a very good running game. For all those out there saying, well, Tony Pollard was great, our running game was not good. And yet, it was the number one scoring offense. So take that number one scoring offense, Drew, in the second year with the same coordinator, with a Dak Prescott who may be pissed off, to make sure that he puts the Cowboys through the ringer, I think that you may end up having a really good offense. But the offense, typically, except in the playoffs, hasn't been the problem as much as the defense. And I like the philosophy. Yes, I hear you, Drew. Drew going to say I'm a hypocrite. But you know what, Drew? This is YouTube. This is YouTube. Oh, but wait. Doesn't ESPN do this shit too? When you get Mike wait, let me hear it again now. For Mike Tenenbaum. Hold up.
How are they going to do it, Mike T? You told us in the meeting this morning. You're saying to yourself, wait a minute, the Cowboys aren't going to be that bad, right? Like the Cowboys would. Shedeur Sanders is going to be the first pick, the third pick, the sixth pick. How do they go up there and get that deal?
Let's say Dallas is 15, 18, somewhere in the draft order, Greeny, trade multiple first-round picks and maybe Ceedee Lamb And
Ceedee Lamb.
Hey, try to get Ceedee Lamb out of
Paid him
town.
in.
And Bart brought up, well, I'm going to give you some credit. Like, let's say it's New England that has the second pick in the draft, and they have everything.
Right.
They have a quarterback and nothing else. So if you're starting over, yes, Ceedee Lamb is expendable. I mean, there's a better
Ceedee
chance.
Lamb is expendable. He's
Yes,
second
there's a
best.
better chance, in my opinion, that Shedeur Sanders could be the quarterback there next year than Dak Prescott at this point. Because if
I don't agree with
if
that.
Dak wanted to be there, their deal would have been done. And the way it's going right now is Dallas is going to need a quarterback in the first round next year.
After that shit, I can say any damn thing I want. Are you serious? Seriously, that's some garbage. Oh Lord, Chris May, exactly. This dude was talking. Right, but see, here's the thing. This is where a lot of you guys will go through and you'll listen to ESPN. And you know what's crazy about ESPN? Does it seem like they're trying to make up for Skip Bayless being gone? It literally feels like they're trying to fill the void of Skip Bayless being gone because they've come up with more crazy shit. Mark, we got 3-1 out the gate. We're going 3-1. Damn. Walker? Shout out to Walker Wade. We'll be doing another drawing for a plaque on Sunday. Boom. For our, I guess, yeah, we're doing it Sunday. You know what? We might double up this week. We might do one Saturday and Sunday. I'll be like Game Time Brian. Game Time. Every time I turn around, I call Game Time Brian. It's like, hey, Brian, what you doing? I'm live right now with my members. I'm like, damn, I thought you were last night. I was. It's like, okay, I got it. Okay, I'm falling behind. Man, you put out more garbage than that. Okay, you know what, Daryl? I've been right about a few things. And I've been wrong about some things. But guess what? That's football. This is harder than predicting the weather, bro. And none of these mother humpers is right. None of these mother humpers are right. FESPN, a bunch of talk asses. Walker Wade super chat. I thought you mean 3 and out. I'd be concerned about the outstanding contract situation affecting the team and Dak. Well, kingship operation, here's what I'm going to say. It hasn't affected Dak in the past about going into it. If anything, I think it motivates him even more. Think about this. Okay, let me pull it up real quick here. Hold on. Dallas Cowboys. QB records. All right, so in Cowboys passing career records, Tony Romo has 34,183 yards. Okay? Dak Prescott is 29,459. So he's about 4,600 behind him. Okay, keep that number in mind. Touchdowns passes. Dak Prescott is 46 away, which would be a tall task, from Tony Romo. So what if this shit is burning in Dak? That Jerry Jones literally doesn't get this deal done. I think it's going to get done. I really do, because Jerry Jones is full of shit. And like Dak Prescott said, I don't listen to what Jerry Jones says in the media because he knows it's all just a game. It is. It's a show. It is WWE is what it is. Let's say Dak Prescott gets that 46 TDs and ties Tony Romo, and then he gets that 4,700 yards passing. And the Cowboys do better in the playoffs. And Dak Prescott says, see ya. How stupid do the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones look? No one listens to it. Because out the door, as he leaves, there's a $40 million dead hit that you take right off the bat. And now you got to figure out, because you don't have Trey under contract. You don't have Cooper Rush under contract. You got nobody. Take us home, Dak. CD better show up in the playoffs when we get there. Amen. Well, you already know the crazy thing. Brandon Ayuk gets signed yesterday. I didn't hear the owner or the GM say, Brandon Ayuk, he's got to earn that money. I didn't hear them say that. I didn't hear Justin Jefferson, when he signed his, that they said he's going to have to do more with less, or he's going to have to get more receptions. It's funny how the Cowboys are the only team that goes out there and says, after they pay you, that you got to do more. Sorry, that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. Your quarterback was runner-up MVP. Your wide receiver just broke all the records of the Dallas Cowboys wide receivers. And literally you're saying, well, you got to do more. How about the other mother humpers? Did you say that to Michael Gallup? You said it to Jalen Smith? I'm just checking, asking for a friend. Thank you, Rhonda. Niners all day. Curtis, who got blown out in the wild card? I'll wait. Laugh out loud. Roma missed some full seasons with injuries. He sure did. But Dak missed, almost a full season there. And missed 5 games, of course, with a broken thumb. But why is that like that? He's damn near drinking crack. Who's drinking? Thomas Garrett. Who's drinking crack? Tierra B. Shout out to Tierra B. Yeah, that Michael Gallup contract was the worst in Cowboys history. Horrible contract. No, we've had some stinkers there, bro. Miles Austin, Marion Barber, you can kind of go down the line. McCarthy's got to stop scratching his balls. Okay. How long have you been a 49er fan? Okay. Drew, you're irritating like growing tick on a cow's ass. You know it's there, but it's hard to find. Damn, Rhonda. That's some cold shit. Damn, a tick on a cow's ass. Mark, let's look at Dak's entirely body of your work, please. You mean the 202 TD passes with only 74 interceptions? Sorry, that's pretty good. Are you talking about his record, wins record? Let's see, what are the wins and losses? Let's see. 73 and 41. Okay. His completion percentage for his body of work, 67 for his career. Okay. His TD percentage at 5.2. Pretty good. His interception percentage at 1.9. His yard average, even when they called him dink and dunk, and throughout his career, has been 7.6. His rating for his career, 99. I'd say that's his body of work there. It's pretty good numbers. Pretty good. Romo still has the Cowboys record for game-winning drives and comebacks, also the highest fourth-quarter passer rating in NFL history. There you go. Did you ever see YouTube videos where cows are picking ticks off of kangaroos? What the hell kind of videos are you watching? That's some crazy shit. And still gets bounced in the playoffs. Mark all those good stats and still can't win playoff game. He's won 2 there, bro. I'm just sitting back and watching the drama unfold. Yeah, Mike Aldana, I am too. But it's okay. It's okay. We'll see what the Eagles do this season. I'm still saying that the Eagles are going to continue their slide from the Super Bowl. And that's the great thing about football is you don't know what you don't know. And we could see almost anything happen. So we're getting ready to get up out of here. And let's see. Make sure you guys don't forget. Boom.
Michael Vick at BetUS.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
All righty, good people. As always, I appreciate you guys. Oh, Lordy, I'm not sure if I appreciate seeing Drew in here because it's just like he's a one-trick pony. It's just Dak, 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 Dak. I'm trying to begin to think that maybe Dak took his best girlfriend or something or other, man. But I appreciate y'all, and we'll be doing our live stream on Sunday with channel members. And shout out to everybody who did a super chat. Got all of your names right here. We're going to add you guys in the drawing, and we'll give away another autograph plaque. And as always, appreciate you.
Grocery store, I used to actually swallow it, pause. But, you know.
Joey's packing and then he used to.
I used to pack and swallow. I used to do a lot of stuff.
Dude, that should be your, like, intro.
Yeah.